Welcome to Inside Colebys. In today's video we're talking about diamonds. I'm going to share with you the method of the 4 C's, which is how diamonds are valued across the world. So you dropped my phone. Alright, the phone's not smashed, we're good. So, as I said, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 4 C's. I'm going to try and share some knowledge with you and just give you a brief understanding on what they are and how it's used in the trade to value diamonds. So, what are the 4 C's? So, the 4 C's was brought out by a firm, the GIA, in I think about the 40s or 50s. The GIA, the Gemological Institute of America, they're the most well-respected diamond grading company. And they brought it out because before that, there wasn't really no set method across the world to value stones. So in one place, they would use Roman numerals. In another place, the top color would be AAA or AA or A. There'll be I can remember people talking about river and western, like different words to describe qualities of stones. But it was really weak. There was no real consistency. You're talking about different people's opinions on qualities, kind of being thousands in value apart. So yeah, it was a bit more difficult years ago to talk consistently about diamond quality. So the GIA come up with a method called the 4 C's. So the 4 C's of a stone, the first one is carat weight. So that's just how much a stone weighs, basically. That's how a diamond's measured, the weight of it. It's also measured in spread as well, but the main measurement of a stone is carat weight. The second is color. So basically how white a stone is. So the top color is D, believe it or not. It's not A, it starts at D, that's the best color, and it goes down to Z. Once you go past a Z, then it starts going into fancy colors. You know, you see them nice like fancy yellows and fancy pinks, but we'll save that for another video. So yeah, the colors range from the best being D, going down to Z. We've got clarity, which is the quality of a stone or how many marks a stone has or hasn't got in it. And then you've got cut. So the cut is the most difficult to measure for sure. It's even hard for diamond graders to measure, but basically the cut is, the only way I can describe it is if you've got a well cut stone, the light bounces around it well, and that's what gives it that fire and sparkle. And if you've got a stone that's cut bad, then it's just going to look flat basically. So how important are the 4 C's, or what should you be looking for when you're buying a stone or jewelry? So first of all, carat weight. So to explain carat weight to you, I've got a loose stone here. Let me get my phone and I'll show you a video. So, this is just a loose oval, 4 carat 02. So there's 100 points to a carat. So this is 4 carat 02, so 4 carat and 2 points. So if something was 1 carat 50, it would be 1.5 carat or 1 carat 50. So yeah, so that's just one single stone. That's just over 4 carat. But we also use carat weight when we're talking about the total content of jewelry. So you would have seen, let me get the video up again, you would have seen things like this. Diamond cross and diamond tennis bracelet, 2 really popular bits at the minute we're selling. So I would still talk carat weight when I'm talking about them, but it's the total carat weight. So all the small stones combined. So in that bracelet, there's just under 9 carat, and in the cross, there is 2 carat 13. So obviously with the carat weight, single bigger stones are worth a ton more than loads of smaller stones like that cross and bracelet I just showed you. So let's say that bracelet has got nearly 9 carat in it. That's just over £10,000. If I had a 9 carat diamond of average quality, it's probably going to be somewhere between 90 to 125,000 roughly. So the price goes up dramatically when you're talking about single bigger stones as opposed to just bits of jewelry. So that's carat weight. It's probably the easiest. That's probably the easiest one to gauge. If you've got just a single stone, we put it on a set of diamond scales, it tells you the carat weight, simple as that. In those items of jewelry I told you, you really need to take someone's word for it because you're not going to take out every stone and measure the diamonds. So you can get a rough idea, but yeah, that's probably the most simple of the 4, so that's out of the way. So secondly is colour. So like I said, colour ranges from D being the best to Z the worst. So D, E and F are all colourless. They're very hard, even for me to tell the difference between, and they're obviously the most expensive. G, H, I, and J are what you're going to most commonly see in sensible jewelry, like nicer jewelry. They still shouldn't draw any colour from the top, so they still look really white. I've done a new range of crosses and stuff that are true GH colour, and they're super white. They look beautiful. So that's still nice colour diamonds. Once you go past the J, you can start to draw a little bit of colour. I wouldn't really recommend going past the J. I've sold a few bigger stones past that before because it does drop the price right down. And yeah, the further you go down towards Z, just the more yellow and brown you're going to see in the stone, and it's not going to look great. And then, like I said, once you go past the Z, we start going into the fancy colours, fancy yellows, pinks, browns, blues, and they become a lot more expensive. But we'll save that for another video. So the third C is clarity. So this is a bit more technical than carat weight and colour. So this is basically what inclusions it has or hasn't got in it. So when a stone's graded, we use a microscope basically. So it's magnified massively. So that 4 carat oval would look huge, and it's really easy to see inclusions. So don't be put off if a stone has got inclusions. 90% have got inclusions in them. It's just how many it's got and how visible they are to your eye. So, like I said, it's really not a big issue if they do have inclusions. So the top diamond grade is IF, so that's internally flawless. That's got nothing in it. So very, very rare. Obviously brings the most money. Isn't really commonly used in jewelry. You see it more for kind of investment stones. Next one down, VVS, very, very slightly included. So this would be a tiny little speck that's even difficult to see under a microscope. So still top quality. VS is very slightly included. This, just with an eyeglass, which I'll show you. Just with an eyeglass, which is what we use to look at diamonds. I don't know if that's focusing or not. With a VS stone, we could probably see a speck or little feather or cloud, but it wouldn't be easy to spot straight away. So still really, really clean. They're still a top quality stone. SI is probably what you're going to see in most everyday jewelers, even though people talk rubbish, say VS, VVS, VVVVVS. They don't really know what they're talking about. Most goods I see that people are saying is VS or VVS is an SI at best. So an SI with an eyeglass, you should quite quickly be able to see a mark. But having said that, with an SI stone, if you've got a clever SI, you still shouldn't really be able to see nothing or spot anything easily with your eye, just looking at it. And obviously a bad SI might have a big black mark in the middle that you could see. But when I say big, obviously we're talking about stones that are smaller. It's not. It's big when it's blown up under a microscope. So yeah, SI you need to be clever with. But if you get a good SI, you're getting a lot more value for your money, and you still shouldn't see a mark with the eye. So I like SI stones. Then the lowest grade is I included. This you're definitely going to see marks with the eye. I don't recommend it. We don't deal in them. It's just it's basically going to affect the overall look of the stone, and it's not going to be great. So onto the fourth C, which is cut. This is definitely the most complex. Really not easy to gauge, even for a diamond dealer or a diamond grader, should I say. So basically there's about 57 or 58 facets to a stone, so different surfaces at different angles that all have to be measured, and yeah, it's super complex, but it's still very important because if a stone, the only way I can describe it is, so the top cut grade is excellent and then very good, and it goes down from there. I would stick to excellent or very good. They're going to distribute the light and give that stone them different colours you see in that sparkle. We like to call it life. Just, when you look at a stone, it looks lively, it looks nice. That normally is to do with the cut. You could have a stone that's D colour, VVS1, a nice big size, and if it's cut poorly, it just completely kills the stone. So it's the most complex, but I'd probably say when you're talking bigger stones, like in engagement rings and that, it is definitely, I'd say, possibly one of the most important C's. It's the least talked about and hardest to determine, but if you've got a certificate, you definitely want to be looking for excellent or very good. If you start going to the bottom couple, it's just, the stone's basically going to look flat. So I've explained to you about the 4 C's and what they are. So how do you know you're really getting the 4 C's, what someone's telling you when you're buying an engagement ring or a bit of jewellery? So there's 2 ways really. So the first way, obviously, is a diamond certificate. You've probably seen them before or heard about them. I'm going to do a separate video just on diamond certificates, so watch out for that. I'm going to teach you how to read a diamond certificate, which are the best, which are the worst. So just briefly, these two, this is a GIA cert and an IGI cert. The two most well-respected names. I've trained with both of these for grading diamonds. Some diamond certs ain't worth the paper they're wrote on, but anyway, we'll cover that in another video. So that's the first way to tell you're getting what you are getting with a diamond certificate. But these would only really come with a single larger stone. We're talking like 50 points to a carat upwards. You don't get a diamond cert with smaller stone goods like that cross and bracelet I showed you. Second way, I'm going to refer to this in loads of my videos, and we say it to so many people, but you need to be going to someone who you trust. You shouldn't be trying to educate yourself. Colebys has been doing this 30 years. I've been grading stones for 15 years. I look through hundreds of stones a week. Just look for a crazy amount of stones. You shouldn't be trying to educate yourself. It's too much of a complex subject to become an expert on. So it's nice to know what you're talking about, and that's why I'm doing these videos. But don't try and be an expert. Leave that to the experts and just go to someone you trust. It's as simple as that. Keep it simple, and you should feel comfortable in someone's hands. In someone's hands. You shouldn't be questioning what they're giving you, you know. So how much difference in value does it make when you vary the 4 Cs? So I'll just give you a quick example just to kind of tell you the rough idea. So if we was looking at a stone that's around diamond in an engagement ring, that's 1 carat. Let's say we've got G color and we've got VS1. So a nice, real nice, lovely color, lovely clarity stone. Ballpark figure, you might be looking at in a high street jewelers, it marked up around the £10,000 mark, just to give you an idea, right? Now, if that stone wasn't certificated, or the person who was selling that stone was lying and it wasn't really a GVS1, let's go down 2 grades in color, so to an I, which it would be very difficult for you to tell that difference. And let's go down to a SI2, which again, it would be difficult for you to tell the difference between a VS and an SI2 to the untrained eye. That stone in a high street jewelers, I'd say probably more like around the 6,000 mark, just to give you an idea, right? So that's a big difference in value. I've not changed the size of the stone or the cut. I've just gone down 2 grades in colour and 2 grades in clarity. So we're talking thousands of pounds on a 1 carat stone. So it does make a big difference. So it is important to end the video, either if you're buying a bigger stone and you don't trust who you're buying from, for it to be certed by one of the best diamond certificators for sure. Or, like I said, just go to someone you trust and leave it to them. So big stones need to be certed, or you need to be going to someone you trust when dealing in uncerted stones or diamond jewellery. So I always say this to customers and other people. There's a lot of people buying rings in Dubai at the minute and coming into us because things are going wrong and settings are not right, blah, blah, blah. But if you're buying a ring in another country, or you're looking at jewelry elsewhere and you want some information, I'm more than happy for you to message me. My number's on Instagram. Send me a message, tell me what you're getting. I'll tell you whether you're getting ripped off or it's a silly cheap price and I can't beat it. So yeah, just happy to share some information. But I hope you learned a few bits in this video and feel a little bit more comfortable when talking about diamonds. And like I said, we're going to be covering a few more bits and bobs about diamonds, like certification, etc. So keep an eye out for those.